Hello guys, and welcome in this new video on the game engine series. Now in the previous video we talked about state and state manager. So we created a basic state for our game engine so that we can actually switch between pages. Like when we're playing, for example, we can go back to the menu. You can still go out and check that out if you haven't watched that. So if this is your first time watching this video in this series, the idea is to build a game engine in C++ using the SDL library. Now we have been uploading a lot of videos about this. There is a lot of video where we actually show how to build this game right here. As you can see, we almost have everything. We have the collision system, the graphic with texture manager, we have physics with rigid body, vector and transform. Actually we have a lot but we haven't implemented a sound system right now to be able to play some sounds, but that's straightforward. That's not the most difficult part in a game engine. That's why I don't actually focus that much on that. Now yeah, I've been trying to build some custom GUI component for this engine because I want to also create my own GUI component. I've been using, if you have watched the previous video, I've been using Nano GUI to actually, create some GUI component where we can actually be able to drag and drop some types and images. But I don't want to, somehow make the point that the Nano GUI is not a good library. No, it was actually another version of Nano GUI. It's SDL GUI. It's actually an SDL version of that library. It's pretty good, but I don't know why I had some issue. It wasn't doing things the way it should. When I draw, for example, image in the image view, then we always have image coming outside of the box, and I couldn't handle that because I didn't know how they actually implemented that. So it was actually hard for me. And I decided to create my own GUI system. So as you can see right here, I have this this GUI right here in which I can actually create children's. You can see this slider right here. Those are things that I'm actually working on right now. As you can see, the value is changing right here when I'm moving this. And yeah, SDL is not the best library when it comes to create some shapes, because you have to build everything from scratch. The only kind of shape we have in SDL are rectangles. That's why you can see right here I only have rectangles, and from those rectangles I have to build everything. I can't even have rounded corner. I'll have to figure out how I can do that, but I don't focus on that right now. I want something that can work and that I can use. So I actually create buttons, frames, and slider. Those are the three components that I created in this GUI system, but that's not what I'm going to be talking about. I'm just kind of give you a feedback on the stage so that you guys know where we're at actually, because I want you guys to always catch me, to know what I'm actually working on and to know what to expect. But in this video I'm gonna be completing what I did in the previous video. I've been talking about those things about the camera that were actually changed so that we never go out of bounds in the camera and all that kind of stuff, because we added some couple of things. That's why I want to talk about in this video. So let's get started. Now let me go out and close this. The first thing I'm going to be talking about is going to be about the new things I added on camera. So I just want to make sure, just want to mention this. You guys are going to find the source code in the description, my Patreon page. For those who are Patreon, you can get free access to the source code. And yeah, for those of you who are not Patreon, I think in the first video of this series I gave the source code for free, so you can still go out and start from there, because there is also a lot in those source code that I uploaded before. So you don't actually have to do everything from scratch yourself. But in my video series I'm trying to explain everything. The reason why I'm not writing all the code anymore is because this project is getting huge, and if I have to write the code myself, then I will have to spend at least 1 hour and for simple video, because things are changing around every time, and I can, you know, cover that in a video. That's why I'm trying to explain. So we have this new method right here that we added in our camera class. So you can see we have this set send limit. We also want to make sure that our camera never goes out of the boundaries of our map, because when we go out of the boundaries of our map, then the computer don't know what to do anymore. Then the player will start falling forever. And we're simply gonna make sure we always stick in that boundaries. We have this move X and move Y, which is straightforward. I don't have to explain what they do. Actually move the camera, so, and nothing to say about that. So we also have this get send limit and get send height, because in the previous video, while we were initializing our play right here, we used this to actually set some couple of things. I'm coming to that in a couple of seconds. We have the move functions where they, I know we actually have a lot of things open right here. I need to close them, make sure they don't take too much space. So the move are actually straightforward. There's nothing. We actually gonna be seeing the set send limit. The idea was, the problem before was that when we created our map, we had to define the space in which the map, where am I? I'm not in the camera. I mean camera. We had to specify every time a fixed value for the boundaries for the view box right here. And that was actually a problem, because since we have different maps, we don't want to be coming every time here and change this value and put another value because we have a new map. We want that to be done automatically. That's why we needed this send limit right here. And this send limit is actually initialized with the size of the map. So we initialize this using the size of the map, because we get the size of our map and we simply set the send limit to that. I think we do that in the play state right here. Let me go out and check that out. Yeah, we have the set target. Am I in play? I'm in play. So let me figure out where that is. Send code. Yeah, this is it. Camera get instant set limit, and you see we give the width and the height of our collision layer. And yeah, we actually created those two functions in our collision layer. We simply returns the number of row multiplied by the tile size. That's why you can see right here, we simply return the number of rows and number of columns, and we simply multiply that by the tile size of the map. That's why we also get the tile size of that map, and we multiply it, the number of column, by the tile size. This actually gives the width. The same thing for the height. And we can simply set the limit of our camera. The camera will never go out of that boundaries, and that's very important, because we want to make sure we always move inside of our map. That's what we actually do. And here we set the collision map. I talked about this in the previous video. Now the idea was simply to make sure we never go out of boundaries. That's why we have this right here. And yeah, that was actually important, because if we didn't do this, then we will have to struggle a lot with our camera. One thing that was also important was about the collision. In our collision, we also had the problem that down here we need to specify the tile size with local variables to specify I don't remember the number of columns, something like that. I removed it and I don't remember, but it was definitely not good. And it was also important to define the collision, you know, so that the collision will be the collision handler will simply grab the collision map and use the property of that collision map to handle collision. Because if we don't do that, then we will every time come here and set the value of the collision tile size, for example, because the collision handler is using the tile size of the collision map to make collision. That's why it's important to set the value of that tile size in the collision, so that he already knows when the map is loaded the value of that tile size. And that was also something that we needed to fix. All these are optional things that you don't have to do. If you're building a game, if you're using this to build a game, you can simply leave the old version as it was, because you will always have, you already know how your map is going to be. That's why you don't need to kind of specify this. But for me, because I want to make something that could be reused every time without having to change and recompile the code, that's why I'm making sure, okay, I changed it so that every time I load a new map, everything is going to be taken in consideration without me writing any kind of line of code. And that's the idea. That's the reason why we had the set collision map. The set collision map simply gave to this collision handler the collision map that it needs to handle collision. And also need, we take the map height and the map width. This was actually important to make what for the loop down here, because we need this inside here. Somehow we need to check the collision between all components. That's why we need those two variables. I don't actually remember why, but yeah, it's straightforward. Just check out the code and everything will be inside. And here, do we have something new? No, I don't think so. We have the check collision for map. So we haven't used this collision between two components now. We haven't used that now, but we're gonna be dealing with that. You probably have object as parameter, not direct, but direct is also okay because each object has a box collider, and yeah, and those are rectangles. So maybe this is gonna be a way of dealing with that. So that was basically what I just wanted to let you know. And as I said, you guys can grab the source code in the description below. I'm just doing this video because I want you to have an idea of what is going on in the current version. Because if I just put the code out there and you don't know what I changed, then it's probably gonna be hard for you to, somehow, keep going with that. That's why I wanna upload video and explain what is going on. Now I just want to give you a short briefing about the GUI system I'm creating. I'm still working on that. It's still there is still a lot that we have to figure out on that. But the idea was really to build something, a part of this engine that I can, somehow put in the engine. Probably, I don't know, I'm gonna be putting this GUI system out there, this GUI library out there someday if I really make it through. I mean, the way that I could put it out there, outside, so that people can also use it for their own project. But I really want to make that huge, so that, because I've been searching online for SDL, I haven't found some good libraries. Those that I found were not looking nicely. The result on the screen wasn't nice, and yeah, the one that was actually nice was a little bit harsh, weird, and I don't know why it was failing all the time. And I took the challenge and I say, okay, I'm gonna bring this to the next step and build my own GUI system. And now here you can see, as I said, I already have button, frames, and panel and slider. Button is actually working. I can actually add, instead of adding this slider, let me go out and add the button right here. I'll simply say button. So, and I need to add the callback function to that button, because needs to have a callback function. I'm just gonna put the go to menu or open menu. Which one was that? The callback function. I had the open menu. Okay, I want this one. So just wanna show you how this can work. This is actually, this button will simply go out and open the menu. So this is too huge, and we're gonna say like 35. Come on, man, 35. So let me go out and compile this, and oh, something's wrong. I forgot one thing. Function GUI. Yeah, it takes the guy. Yeah, this is it. And let me check here. Which one was the first parameter? The attribute. Okay, I changed the order of parameters. Attribute is the first one, and I need to put this one. And so we have the open menu. So I'm trying to compile. So, and you can see this button is inside of this window. I can move this and move this together. You know, I can create infinite number of children, and that's actually something that I like about this. So if I push this button, you can see when I hover, the color changes a little bit. If I push this button, we're simply going to be moving to the menu, but I haven't added anything on the menu right now. Just so you guys don't know I'm faking, I'm just gonna add like a frame on the menu also. So let me open the menu. I have to go to the states. Where is my states? There it is. So go and just want to add like have this init function right here. So I'm gonna paste this, and I want to add include frame, because I don't even have to initialize anything and all that kind of stuff. Just have to include my library, and I'm able to go, and I'm good to go. But I need to put this frame, to define this frame outside, because I'm gonna be calling it in the update and draw function. I'm sorry, I have a lot. I have to close camera and all this. So as here, that was just for test purpose. That's why I need to define it outside so that I can access it through my class. So have frame. Now we define the frame. Okay, call it frame. That frame is equal to new, and I have to remove this and simply go out and copy this and paste it here. And I want to draw it, and I have to do the same thing for the update. I think that should be it. So if I compile this, well, something is wrong. What is that? Play. Maybe because I defined it twice. Okay, yeah, first define. Okay, I need to change the name of this guy in the menu because it's global variable and we define it twice. So I'm gonna say frame1. I don't want to define like a member variable, right? I'm gonna make something to show you that I'm not. So compile. That's perfect. Now if I push this one, you can see we have the other one here, and you can see it's just nice the way it's working, because yeah, I'll be able to create my own UI, and this could also be used to create some simple programs. And yeah, I really take this challenge and I want to make it through. I can go back though, and I really like it, really find it interesting, and the way it's working. So if you guys are really interested in this and you want to somehow, you know, participate or do something about this, let me know in the comment section below. I like to share with you, and I'm also going to be putting this in the code in the description. You guys can still go and try that out if you want, because the idea is to build, as I said, a game engine, or you can go out and somehow use that for your own purposes. So I don't want to make this video too long. Thank you guys for watching videos on the Medico channel. Hope you guys are enjoying, hope you guys are learning something from me. And if you have questions, don't hesitate to write me, and go out and support my work on Patreon. Or if you really want to support me and you don't have a Patreon account, you can still contact me somehow, and yeah, see how to deal with that. See you in the next video. Ciao.